Hey there, today we are doing makeup for hot, humid weather. Waterproof, humidity-proof, everything proof. But first, make sure your language settings are on. Go turn those on if they aren't already. For all my new subscribers, this is me, no filters, no injections, just real skin and natural daylight. And here I am in the shade. And I have pores, wrinkles, dark spots, freckles, blemishes, and two different hooded lids. Not even that hot today, so just imagine when it really is. Of course, we are going to talk about primer. Now I only reach for this one when it's really hot and the humidity is high. It's the shine control version, not the one in the dark gray packaging. That one is for minimizing pores, totally different product, totally different purpose. Apply to the clean skin if you want that true matte finish. I don't just use it on oily areas, I use it all over. And if you live somewhere hot, you will get it. A teeny amount isn't enough. You need a decent layer. Work fast, swipe it on, and blend quickly. Don't let it dry as you go, or it will start peeling and turning white. Look, see that? If you keep rubbing after, it's already started to set and it will form those little white bits. My skin is super sensitive. It turns red with just one touch. But like I mentioned in my previous video on glow summer makeup, if your skin gets red after applying product, it's probably reacting to the formula. It might have aggressive ingredients, maybe your skin just isn't absorbed well. Most of the time, the issue is fragrances, especially floral ones like rose extract. In my case, I just have thin, sensitive skin. The redness fade after a few seconds. When you apply this primer the right way, it won't leave those white bits, and your skin will look completely matte and won't feel sticky at all. Next step, concealer. I am using it to cover the blue veins around my eyes. Tarte Shape Tape is a must for this kind of makeup. It's matte, non-sticky, and it doesn't smudge until you actually remove your makeup. I even use it for everyday looks when I don't feel like wearing foundation. I blend it with a fluffy synthetic brush, just moving side to side, focusing on the blue and purple areas. If you don't have visible veins, you can skip this step. When I have a tan, it's less noticeable, but still there because my skin is so thin. I also apply some around my nose and on my eyelids. It helps prevent creasing later. Just make sure to remove any oil from your lids first. If you notice that your pores are becoming more visible, just gently polish them in circle motions with your brush. It smooths everything out. And the famous matte foundation from Estee Lauder, of course. I usually buy two shades, one lighter and one darker, and mix them throughout the year to match my skin tone. The frosted matte glass packaging, yes, that's your first clue. It's meant to give a matte finish. Now let's talk about the foundation and how to choose the right colors and so on. So the first number shows the depth of your skin tone, light, medium or dark. I'm in the light categories, so I usually use and choose the first one, 1. So the letter tells you your undertone. N is neutral, W is warm, and C is cool. And finally, the last number shows the intensity of your undertone, how much yellow or pink they add to the base. A small drop of this foundation is more than enough for a thin layer across your whole face. I'm going to use it differently, more like a bronzer, so I can skip extra layers of product. I apply it in wide strokes, one area at a time, and blend immediately. This technique is called under-bronzing, and it's amazing for beginners. It's forgiving any uneven blendings, gets smoothed out later with the foundation. Don't worry, trust the process. I apply it to my temples to lift the face. Both sides should be parallel, and it should be parallel to your cheekbones and jawline as well. Then under the cheekbones, but only if I plan to blend upwards. And if you are unsure about blending, start a bit higher than usual from your first brush touch. And I also swipe it along the sides of my nose and over my lids. Don't stress if it looks messy at first. This technique really works, especially if you are just starting out. And now grab the lighter shade, but listen, don't pile on product like you are trying to build a whole new face. That much liquid foundation could easily cover 8 faces and necks. Just take a small amount and build it up slowly using dabbing motions. Don't swirl it and definitely don't swipe it from the back of your hand and then apply it to the face. You will lose control of the coverage. Always start from the jawline and work your way up. Don't overload the center of your face. That's where heavy makeup is most noticeable. People instantly see build up right there, and it can ruin the whole look. Sometimes I don't even apply foundation to my nose. It gives the illusion of fresh, natural skin, like you are not wearing foundation at all. And remember, dab, don't swipe. You are applying foundation over the contouring. Don't smudge that base and especially primer. Uh, did you notice how little product I use earlier? Just a tiny dot for half of my face. Only after that do I grab a little more for my forehead. And again, no swiping. If you drag the brush, the foundation will start setting and shift around, creating a patchy mess. No, no, no. Just dab and work section by section. One area of your face, then move to the next one. And if you do decide to add foundation to your nose, be careful. I'll show you a close-up. You need to polish the pores, not cover them with a thick layer of foundation. Hold the brush perpendicular to the nose and use gentle circle motions. It's totally normal to have visible pores. It's your skin. It's not a mask, and don't overdo it, and definitely don't overthink it. Don't apply powder yet. It's time for blush. We are using creamy but dry formula. Yeah, it's complicated. A true hybrid. Which you touch it, it feels soft and creamy, but once it hits the skin, it seems like a powder. Texture melts in and fixes itself and gives a velvet finish. No shine. It also helps smooth over pores and fine lines. And now smile and find the apple of your cheek, but don't apply the blush there. Instead, place it along the cheekbone for a more lifted look. If you accidentally apply too much, watch what I do. I move to a clean area of skin where there is no blushes yet and lightly swipe the brush there, kind of like cleaning the excess of the brush. And the idea is to either use a clean side of your brush or switch to a fresh one to soften the color. I apply blush to my cheeks, nose, forehead, and even a bit on the lids. And then I flip the brush to the clean side and start gently tapping to blend it out. This new generation blush formula blend so easily and no harsh patchiness like you may have seen in the last video. Same foundation but a different technique and a completely different blush texture. People love powder, yes, they put it on everything, and honestly, in hot climates, powder is usually one of the first makeup product a girl starts using, maybe after SPF. Yes, maybe SPF, the most important thing. So I apply mine with a very light hand and a small fluffy brush. I use for translucent powder. Here's a tip. If the powder kind of floats or flies up when you try to pick up some products on the brush, that's a good sign. It means it's lightweight and won't emphasize pores or fine lines. It just smooths the surface. I dab the powder onto the center of my face, then gently swipe it downward. That way I follow the natural direction of baby hairs or facial hairs instead of brushing against them and creating a mini swirl. Dab your brush into the powder, then press it into the back of your hand first, and after that, swipe it down onto your face. Don't forget the eye area. I like to powder my whole face with a very thin layer, just enough to take away the moisture and set everything in place. Now look at the skin, flawless, matte, no glow, no stickness. Let's test it with a kitchen towel. Paper towel doesn't stick to the face and it stays completely white after touching the surface. Same with your phone. No smudges, no transfer. A waterproof lip liner in a beautiful shade, one of my all-time favorites. It's a gel formula, so it sets almost immediately and doesn't smudge. You can even use it as a lipstick. Pick the shade you like. I'm using a darker one today to contour the lips. After applying it, I blend the edges inward and sharpen the outer shape with a thin, precise lip brush. You can usually tell it's a gel formula by the packaging. If it's made of plastic, it's likely a gel and waterproof. If it's wood, it's probably a wax formula, which reacts to body heat and tends to transfer more. Same rule applies to eye pencils, and if your pencil is smudgy or printed onto the lids, check the texture. It may just not be designed for long wear or waterproof use. So that's our first lip option. I know a lot of women prefer to highlight the lips instead of the eyes, and why not? This pencil shade matches my top perfectly. The second option is more casual. Let's take off the lip liner from the center of the lips and go back to the first step. And now apply the same blush you use on your cheeks to your lips. Because of its soft texture, it fills in fine lines and the velvet finish feels super smooth and lightweight, like you are wearing nothing at all. Oh, and here's the trick. Try apply the blush first, then the lip pencil. You will really see the difference. It goes on so much better when its surface is smooth and prepared, not dry or lined. Now everything ties together, eyes, lips, and cheeks, creating that monochromatic look. It's such a hot trend right now, and it's incredibly simple to do. And the last option, lip tints. Let's play with some effects, but of course I will show you each shade on me. I start with a brown tint as a lip liner to shape the lips, then immediately blend it out with a sharp brush. And don't rush here, be precise. Next, I add a bit more to the corners of the lips for depth. And then just touch of a lighter color in the center. I'm using Classic Red. It's a stunning shade and I love it both on its own or in this kind of combo. It's juicy, moisturizing, really fresh looking. And let's just wait until the result of the makeup is finished. And then we will remove the excess product from the lips. Eyebrows. Without them, all three lips combos can look a little off, like something's missing. But we don't want to go overboard either, and I know the full look will come together better once the rest of the makeup is finished. Apply with the small hair-like strokes, just mimicking the direction of your natural brows, then brush it out. We are not trying to draw the hairs, we are just spreading the product evenly to create soft shadow-like definition. For the eyes, I'm using the most underrated eyeshadow, this burgundy shade. I hadn't seen it before, but I fell in love with it the moment I touched it. I'm applying it with an applicator. That's right. Let me show you how to use it properly. If you're just starting out and not sure whether to invest in brushes, this little sponge tip can actually help a lot. But of course, with brushes, the process is faster and easier. This shade looks incredible on brown and caramel brown eyes. It makes them look lighter and more vibrant. On green eyes, it brings out the green, and with the blue eyes, it creates that icy blue or light gray effect, stunning. Apply it to the outer corners in a V shape, then bring it down to the lower lash line. Lay the sponge flat and blend it outward toward the temples using small, short strokes. It works so well because we have already applied blushes and powder. The surface is smooth and the sponge just glides across the lids. Quick tip, your shadow should blend in a way that follows the curve of the low lash line that you guide. Now apply a second layer to build intensity. And if you're having trouble blending, it's probably just too much product on the sponge. Simply flip it to the clean side and keep blending, easy to fix. That's it. For strong sunlight, I like to define both the lips and the eyes, because sunlight tends to wash out everything from the face. But of course, it depends on the purpose of your makeup. This burgundy shade isn't too bold or risky. Don't worry, it's not dangerous color. It has a brownish base that blends beautifully into the skin, even using an old school sponge applicator. Now it's time to clean things up. Let's remove the lip tint and sharpen the lower lip line using a tiny amount of foundation and sharp brush. One last step before mascara, a light touch of powder on the lids. This helps absorb any oil and prep the lashes. I'm using a tubing formula. It's perfect for summer and especially for hooded lids. Honestly, it's kind of unfair to show it over false lashes, but if you want to see it in action, check it out in my other videos. I love it so much, and it dries off easily with the warm water, no makeup remover needed. And just look at how that deep black defines the eyes. It adds separation between the red shadow and your lash line. I have no confess, I avoided this product for the longest time. Not because I had a bad experience, but just I don't know, no reason, no expectations. I just didn't believe in the hype, so I skipped it every time. But girls, the moment I actually gave it a chance, so here's how I use it. Close your eyes, hold the bottle a little away from the face and mix it evenly across the skin. But before spraying, check your makeup. Make sure everything looks good, no creases under the eyes, no powder sittings on top of the skin. And this spray melts away any powder finish, so your skin looks naturally and smooth, not flat, not dusty, just like real skin with a soft velvety finish. What I love most is that it doesn't leave any tight feelings or thickness, just a secure, lock-in base that still looks like skin. Perfect for long wear, summer days, weddings, or content creation days when your face needs to stay in place no matter what. Now I want to hear from you. What are your best beauty hacks for surviving in hot weather? Do you have any go-to products or tricks that keep your makeup fresh and flawless when it's very humid and hot weather outside? So drop your tips in the comments below. Let's help each other glow no matter the heat. And thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one. Ciao!